It should be live. That's cool. Good evening. Good evening to you all. Welcome back. Good to be back. Ready to take a look at the news for the night. I bet it was a crazy day. I bet it was so much fun. I haven't even really looked at it yet. Tagged it like a handful of things here and there. But I saw all kinds of stuff flying by in my notifications, so I think we're gonna have ourselves a fun night tonight. Let me get set up here, and we'll get cooking, grilling, whatever. There we go. Whoa! That was crazy. That was trippy. What the heck is going on there? Okay, that was the problem. Alright. Let's see. What is that? Get out of here. Let me pull up, first of all, whatever I've got tagged here. I also gotta make sure I can see all the people on YouTube. There's the YouTube live control panel and chat. Hopefully it'll work without me having to sign in. Yup, it worked. Wonderful. Okay, we'll start. Oh, yeah. Oh, I did get some kind of early this morning. That's right. Some really troubling stuff. They're working to Trump-proof the government as we speak, as we kind of saw play out yesterday with the kind of very thinly veiled hints at this in Kamala's concession speech, along with some of the other comments made by various individuals throughout the day. I think Kamala's campaign manager, Jen O'Malley Dixon, is that her name? Sent out some letter that basically echoed the same thing, saying something to the effect of the work to keep the Trump presidency on guardrails begins now, or something along those lines, right? Apparently this includes ramming through $6 billion to Ukraine, because duh, of course it does. Let's see.
Biggest cesspool we got. What do they propose? What are the political elites proposed in Ukraine?
There we go.
The concept of Trump proofing, I have to say, as glorious as watching people melt down on MSNBC as I've been walking around the White House all day looking at the long faces of the Biden staffers. It's even more glorious. But that aside, they're planning evil, nefarious things. I think we'll call it skullduggery, particularly when it comes to Ukraine, a microcosm of what I'm sure they're going to plan on all other fronts. But like we always know, Ukraine has always been their first priority. They're trying to really, in the dark of night, ram through a maximum of $6 billion in additional aid to Ukraine, but because it's such short notice, like I said, they would basically have to pull it from existing stocks of weapons and ammunition. They're working behind the scenes, but more broadly too, last point, Politico has a longer form piece on just the broader concept of how they can Trump-proof foreign policy agenda, which I think really gets to the heart of the issue. But like I said, it's not just the Ukraine aid. They're going to be doing it on immigration, trade, at virtually everything, and it's going to be coming both sides incoming, right? Globally yes. Too, NATO, all
and
those
they
bodies.
Want to do it at the state level. This is very well thought through. General Flynn, you were there for the.
Yep, I guess they had Flynn on. Interesting. Okay, that was yesterday. This was last night. The protests have, of course, begun. I was trying to remember earlier, how long did it take in 2016 for the protests to spin up after it was announced that Trump had won? I mean, the announcement came the night of the election, or I guess early morning, the morning after, I think it was 2:30 a.m. was official decision time. So did the protesting begin that following day, Or did it take a couple days? Like this? It's been so long, I can't really remember. I don't know. But here's, I think, Chicago. The Trump building. Okay, this one is this one's kind of concerning. Like, for real. Check it out. After SpaceX's requests, Taiwanese suppliers move manufacturing abroad out of Taiwan, sources say. SpaceX has about a dozen direct suppliers from Taiwan, which rely on dozens of domestic vendors, the source who collaborates with the island's satellite industry said. Taiwan has a large satellite industry with about 50 companies producing ground equipment and sensitive components, according to the Economy Ministry and industry data. The government estimates the sector's output exceeded $200 billion Taiwanese dollars, roughly 6.23 billion US last year. Taiwanese SpaceX supplier Wistron Niweb Corporation this year began producing routers and other network gear for Starlink at its factory in the northern Vietnamese province of Hanam, about an hour south of Hanoi, two of the plant's workers and a contractor said. Universal Microwave Technology, another SpaceX supplier and manufacturer of satellite components, invested in a factory in Vietnam this year, according to a Taiwanese official and public documents from the company. Chin Poon Industrial. A Chin Poon? Gotcha. All right. A satellite component maker, which said it was recently a SpaceX supplier, told Reuters the U.S. company requested they move their manufacturing from Taiwan to Thailand for new orders, mostly due to geopolitical considerations. It did not elaborate. Is there some reason to believe that China might be making a move soon? I wonder. I don't know what else that could be talking about. Geopolitical considerations upon which it would not elaborate. Chin Poon. Chin Poon. What a name. Okay. Mollie Hemingway. Reminder that there was not a peaceful transfer of power in 2016. Oh, yeah. And that Joe Biden, none other, was key to keeping it from being a peaceful transfer of power. This piece from 4 years ago helps explain. Oh. Obama-Biden Oval Office meeting on January 5 was key to entire anti-Trump operation. Huh. Oh, interesting. Information. So when was this written? This was May 8th, 2020 by Mollie Hemingway. Information released in Justice Department's motion to dismiss the case it brought against Flynn confirms the significance of a J5 2017 meeting at the Obama White House. It was at this meeting that Obama gave guidance to key officials who would be tasked with protecting his administration's utilization of secretly funded Clinton campaign research, which alleged that Trump was involved in a treasonous plot to collude with Russia from being discovered or stopped by the incoming administration. President Obama said he wants to be sure that as we engage with the incoming team, we are mindful to ascertain if there is any reason that we cannot share information fully as it relates to Russia. Susan Rice, former National Security Advisor, wrote in an unusual email to herself about the meeting that was also attended by Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates, FBI Director James Comey, and VP Joe Biden. Interesting. I'll drop the link to that article if anyone wants to dig through it a bit, just for nostalgia's sake, you know. Let's see. There we go. Bing, bong. Milo, remember him? Man, that's a throwback. Said, allegedly, mobile device advertising IDs showed that Kamala's rally crowds were the exact same people. Bussed from city to city, over and over again. We certainly saw photos of the buses. A lot of buses. On a lot of different occasions. Milo continues, that's how I knew Trump had it. Polling is propaganda designed to demoralize conservatives, but there are technologies that reveal reality. Yeah, I did see a little bit, I think maybe a couple people that posted some of that evidence in the lead up to the election, showing that I think in the case that I saw, it was showing that the makeup of people at a specific Kamala Harris rally were not locals, and in fact had come from numerous outside locations, including, I think, Pittsburgh was one of the main ones. So interesting. I didn't even think of it at the time, but yeah, I guess you would be able to tell whether these same people were going to multiple different rallies, all kinds of, maybe even most of the different rallies she held. That's great. It's hilarious. Trump protests break out in several cities. Fascist clown. Whee! Here we go. It's also Chicago. We already saw these. Where else? Where else do they show up at? I think I had heard there was a small showing in DC, relatively small. New York City, of course. Yeah, just a nothing burger. Look at that. It's hardly anything so far. This is last night, so plenty of time left. Months left, so this could, who knows, they could spin it up at any time. By the way, look at these creepy little pentagrams on there. Blech. Okay, Secret Service needs to arrest all these people immediately. Oh yeah, look at this. All the insanity out there following the decision rolling in. No self-control. No playing the tape out, thinking, gee, maybe there might be consequences if I say this out loud. That's great. What the world needs now. Wow. Jeez. This is a lot of visits for the Secret Service to make. A whole lot of visits. Well, I wonder if they'll actually follow through on this. I mean, they certainly have in the past. Remember a number of occasions where Secret Service went and, or maybe it was, I don't remember if it was local cops, FBI, or if it was actually Secret Service, but I remember a number of occasions where people made threats and were visited very quickly by the authorities. Good soundtrack, though. Yeah. My goodness. Look at these people. Trump and Elon on the same day, huh? Looks like a significant portion are black. Followed by, I guess, weebs. Could be some crossover there. I don't know. Some tranny action. We get a little, wait, transgender. Did they censor that word on here? I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. I don't know the YouTube rules anymore. Shoot. Jeez. Ugh. This is like 10 and a half minutes of this. It's on and on and on and on and on. It's insanity. Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna do anything.
We were just saying this, like, I'm in shock. Like, this is really where we're at. Are you just that against having a woman as president that you decided to choose the other alternatives?
That's right. It happened because everyone hates women.
Like, I'm just,
including women. Women hate women.
I'm in shock by that, mainly for anything.
Man, is to see how much of the U.S. picked this man and everything that it stands for, and for me to just know, like, my experience as a woman, having miscarriages, having a brother that's deaf, and the things that are not for them and not for me as a black woman, I just can't believe the world.
What do any of those things have to do with this?
It's like perceiving this way. It hurt my heart, honestly, because I love my country. I love America. However, to see where we are as a black woman, I'm just like, eh.
Just like that? Like, eh?
I don't quite get it. I don't know. I can't explain that. Other than to say racism is strong in this nation, and
sir,
it's the country's greatest sin. We don't like to talk about it. We never atone for it. And sex.
You walk around drinking decaf vanilla lattes in Washington, D.C., Brandon. You have not experienced racism likely in the entirety of your life.
Racism, number 2 biggest sin that we haven't atoned for, don't like to talk about. And I think what the truth of the matter is no matter what your skin color or your gender, we can be a part of supporting white supremacy and the patriarchy.
Oh, he's one of those.
No matter what the outside looks like, right? And
never mind. He would never drink a vanilla latte. Too white.
So a lot of that it rings true in our great country.
Thought it was never great. What else? Yeah, this is pretty wild. Look at this. 98% participation rate in a county in Wisconsin, La Crosse County. 98% turnout. That is a level that is not even achieved by like mandatory participation.
However you might feel about the outcomes yesterday, voters in La Crosse County can take some pride in their participation rate in this election.
God, the coverage of this, by the way, is so like Orwellian. There's like no question in this man's mind about how this might have happened. Why? Is it even possible?
The unofficial summary posted by the county shows more than 72,700 votes were cast in La Crosse County among a little more than 74,000 registered voters. However you might feel about the outcomes yesterday, voters in La Crosse County can take some pride in their participation rate.
I guess that's one way of looking at it. I mean, Or they could, I don't know, wonder how the heck that's even possible. Yeah, even countries with compulsory suffrage don't get that level of participation. That's nuts. La Crosse County, Wisconsin. Chris Cuomo shuts down Maxine Waters. Oh, she's going down the racism angle too. Okay.
What is the lesson that your party should have learned?
Well, the Democratic Party worked very hard, and they raised, substantial sum of money. We had great candidates, and so Trump had a following, basically generally led by whites. White males voted in big numbers. He had a few from.
What about those Hispanics? Are they now white supremacists? They're considered white supremacists now, I think. Yeah.
The other race groups that joined in, like the Latinos at 45%, and black men at about the same rate that they did when they voted for him before, at about 20%. That combination won. And so it is not that Democrats did not work hard, did not do a great job. We had an unusual situation where we had a black woman, which this country has never seen before. A combination of all of those things led to his win.
Thank you, Roxy, for that little detail. That's interesting. That's fascinating, actually. Roxy says, Pam, in La Crosse County, Wisconsin, the participation rate in 2016, was 66%. And in 2020, it was 72%. I wonder how that stacks up with the national average. I would think that's about... Would think that would be about average, like 60, 70%. Yeah, you want to ask? You're asking Grok. Thank you. Great, great to have some assistance out there. Have someone just flying it at Grok, picking up little details like that. That's great. Thank you. I'm gonna how do I mod you? There we go. So good to see you again, by the way. Very good. All right. Let's see. Did we finish this? We did not finish this. More Maxine. I'm sorry.
Will not push back on the idea that race and sex matter in American politics. I think they do. I don't know that it was the controlling variable, and you don't suggest otherwise. To me, it seemed to be that the Democrats thought Trump stinks is enough. And Senator Bernie Sanders said something that reminded me of you, which is why I wanted you on the show tonight, Maxine, which is Democratic Party used to be, we are all about doing for working people. That's what we do. That's what Mario Cuomo's party, that's what Maxine Waters' party.
It's all talk now.
Was. You are now seen as not that, even by Bernie Sanders. What is the lesson?
Speaking of, that's right. Bernie is catching some flack for getting mouthy, getting a little uppity. He apparently has said that Democrats have abandoned the working class. The White House and the DNC balk at this somehow. Still not getting it. No surprise there. Oh, Corinne. Okay, we'll have to get to... I'm sure Steph tagged me with this one, so we'll wait until we come across it in the pile of stuff here. Yeah. I bet the press conference today was a fascinating one. All right, let's see. Hold on. There I am. Save you guys getting dizzy while I scroll through the list here down to the bottom. We'll see how much of the day we can get through. We'll make a valiant effort, I promise. Let's go. Uh-oh, that's not good. Come on, Twitter. Wake up. It wasn't loading. There we go. Okay, we're good. We're good. It's going. Say what? You have That is not funny. Don't joke about that. She just joked that I got banned. Mean. Alright. Yeah, we'll pick it up around here. That's good. There's a lot to get through. Okay, Judge Merchan considering tossing the case against Trump in New York after the election victory. I doubt we need to watch it. It's pretty short and sweet. Judge in Trump's hush money trial considers tossing felony conviction. Well, just to repeat. Let the finger pointing begin. Team Biden blaming Kamala's campaign, but her people are firing back at the big guy for not stepping down sooner. Wah, wah. But let's remember, these are the same people who lied to our face repeatedly about Joe Biden being healthy as a horse up until July. In fact, still to this day, they pretty much they still try to argue that. They have to, because he's still in office.
Only one happy Democrat in America.
Oh man, can hardly hear that. Especially over that freaking water. Stupid pipes. All right, there we go.
Right now, and he's sitting in D.C. licking an ice cream cone. His wife cast her vote yesterday wearing a MAGA red suit. That's a message to the Democrats who knifed her husband in the back. Joe Biden never liked Trump, but he might hate his friends who backstabbed him even more. They turned him from the most powerful man in the world to a couch potato. Insiders say Biden's been spending his days watching Netflix. People close to him say he's a little lonely. Sure, he gets his daily briefings, but he can't focus. He's trying to figure out what's next for him. He's obsessed with his presidential library and his charity, the Biden Foundation.
Of course.
Maybe Hunter will run that after he gets a pardon from Daddy. But before Biden could get bribes...
I mean, that's the only semblance of a legacy he's going to have left after Trump gets in there. I mean, that's it.
Donations for his foundation. He wants to set the record straight. Kamala blew it.
The finger pointing is already starting, and it's only going to become more direct. I'll just give you two quotes from people that I talked to tonight. This is a former Biden advisor. How do you spend $1 billion and not win?
Oh, yeah.
What the F?
It was such a bad night for Democrats. They're starting to think, maybe we shouldn't have cooed the big guy.
I do have an indictment of some of the strategy. And again, the people that said Joe Biden was the problem. Where's my camera?
He was not the solution.
He was not the solution. I will just...
Whoever that is piping up there is right. Joe Biden wouldn't fix this, my dear.
I will just note that it is probably not...
Your problems are in a lot deeper than that.
The best idea that Democrats orchestrated a very public stab fest, a proverbial stabbing in the front of the sitting president of the United States of America.
That is true, and it is reprehensible, even though I can't stand Joe Biden. That is absolutely true, but your problems would not have been solved by not doing that.
And then didn't use him in his hometown of Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Biden world agrees. They think Joe would have won the white working class.
No.
And they blame Obama and Pelosi.
There's absolutely no chance he would have survived 3 more months of campaigning. Not like, well, I mean, even physically, he could have croaked. I mean, he was getting pretty rough. He was getting old, looking old, behaving like it was concerning. Very well could have just dropped dead, croaked at any moment. But I mean, just in terms of the campaign, there's no way he would have survived electorally. Like, he was done. Best one yet, walk of shame. Oh, people taking their Kamala signs down. Oh, that's great. In the arms of the angel. Yeah, that's fantastic. Bye-bye. Oh man, they're looking like really somber too. Can hardly get the energy to walk 5 feet. I think we saw that. Yeah, Axios. Donald J. Trump has vanquished the Bushes, the Clintons, the Bidens, the Obamas, and the entire establishment of both parties. It's coming from Axios, too. Like, whoa. Weird. And awesome. Trump Jr. took about 12 hours after my father's election win for Hamas to call for peace. Yeah, that's right. Not even president yet, already getting it done. Hamas calls for immediate end to war after Trump election win. Wonder what's going on, by the way, in Israel after what we saw the other night. What the latest with that is. All those weird like allegations of like a military coup, all kinds of odd stuff. Could have just been BS. Who knows? Let's see if we can find anything fresh. Oh yeah, and Bibi firing defense minister. That's right. Anything new? Protests. Here we go.
The Lebanese army says an Israeli strike near an army checkpoint in the southern city of Sidon has killed 3 people and wounded 7 others, including 4 United Nations peacekeepers.
Whoa.
The strike targeted a car whilst it was passing the checkpoint, killing all 3 people inside. The injured UN peacekeepers were also passing through the checkpoint at the time. Meanwhile, the Israeli military says 5 Israeli soldiers were killed and 16 others wounded in combat in southern Lebanon in recent weeks.
Wow.
More protests have been taking place in Israel following the sacking of the Defence Minister Yoav Gallant, called a crisis of trust. The pair have had a tumultuous relationship ever since Netanyahu first tried to sack Gallant in March 2023 for opposing his plan to overhaul the judiciary. Since then, they've had strong disagreements on how to conduct the war in Gaza.
Okay.
Joe Inwood is in Jerusalem and told us more.
Yeah.
UNRWA boss says agency facing its darkest hour. Huh.
So we've seen a couple of nights of protests now. The first night we saw riot police, we saw horses. They even used something called skunk water, a smelly water, to try and disperse the crowds. And it shows you the strength of feeling.
Smelly water?
Amongst some here.
Really?
About the decision to remove Mr. Gallant as defence minister. Now, the reason people feel so strongly about this is because in many ways he was seen as one of the last voices in the cabinet of Benjamin Netanyahu that really challenged him, that really presented a different view of things. Now, the position of Mr. Netanyahu was that trust had broken down, and that's why he needed to go. Mr. Gallant needed to go. But when the defence minister, former defence minister I should say, resigned, he painted a rather different picture. He said there were 3 key areas of disagreement between the two. Now, number 1 was the need for a hostage deal. He said it would be painful for the country, but it was a compromise that they could do. The second one is to do...
Man, I'm still things just so... I really don't know enough about their politics to have a grasp of what's going on here, but...
with conscription.
All seems pretty odd.
Now, in this country, all Israelis have to serve in the armed forces, but there are exemptions for members of the ultra-Orthodox community, and that's something that Mr. Gallant wanted to change, but something that the Prime Minister was opposed to because his coalition government depends on the support of ultra-Orthodox parties. And then finally, there's the need for an inquiry into the events of October the 7th, and it was those 3 points that proved, irreconcilable between these 2 men, and it's seen Mr. Gallant lose his job.
And okay, I want to hear that again. So there were 3 points here, kind of sticking points between them.
In the cabinet of Benjamin Netanyahu that really challenged him, that really presented a different view of things. Now, the position of Mr. Netanyahu was that trust had broken down, and that's why he needed to go. Mr. Gallant needed to go. But when the defence minister, former defence minister I should say, resigned, he painted a rather different picture. He said there were 3 key areas of disagreement.
This is all from the defence minister, okay.
Between the two. Now, number 1 was the need for a hostage deal. He said it would be painful for the country, but it was a compromise that they could do. The second one is to do with conscription. Now, in this country, all Israelis have to serve in the armed forces, but there are exemptions for members of the ultra-Orthodox community, and that's something that Mr. Gallant wanted to change, but something that the Prime
wanted no exceptions for ultra-Orthodox. Interesting. Okay.
Prime Minister was opposed to because his coalition government depends on the support of ultra-Orthodox parties. And then finally there's the need for an inquiry into the events of October the 7th. And it was those three...
And then that's... Okay, that's pretty interesting. I wonder if it's that last one that was the big one. And the seventh was a strange course of events. It was weird. I think no matter your position on what's going on over there, and to be honest, I really kind of don't even have one, because it's so far removed from me. My position is I just don't want them involved in our politics, and I think frankly we should be worrying about our own before we ever even think about worrying about anything going on over there, barring any immediate effects that might be, carried out on us. But we should have no concern. Not with all the crap we got to worry about right now. I mean, that's generally my position over there. But I think no matter your position on it, whether you're on Israel's side or Hamas, like the 7th was strange. Things did not play out the way that they should have. And I think the fact that one of these three major points was, now I'm not saying Gallant's good. I have no idea whether Gallant's good or bad or anywhere, but I have no clue about Netanyahu either. No idea. But I just think it's interesting that they wouldn't. It seems like they don't want an inquiry into the 7th. I don't know. Huh.
Key points that proved irreconcilable between these two men, and it's seen Mr. Gallant lose his job, and it's now seen these protests and also a challenge in the courts. But the court today did decide that Mr. Netanyahu was within the law to fire Mr. Gallant.
I would think so.
Joe, interesting timing given this is the week of the US election, as everyone waits to see what change that will bring.
Yeah, absolutely. So this happened just a few hours before polls closed in America. We don't know if there was a connection or it's just coincidence. And really, something like this would be making front page headlines around the world in any other time, but it was rather overshadowed by events in America. But there is a connection between them, and potentially the direction of travel it shows for Israel's wars against Hamas in Gaza and Hezbollah in Lebanon. And the feeling is that Mr. Gallant, although he was pro-war, to many he was seen as hawkish in the context of this government.
Interesting. Huh.
He was seen as something of a moderating force, and the man who replaces him, Israel Katz, is seen as much more in line with Mr. Netanyahu. Now that, combined with the arrival of Donald Trump in the White House, someone who is seen as being very supportive of Israel, has led some to think that this is...
Yeah, and then that's the other thing, just the timing with the election too. I wonder...
going to give Mr. Netanyahu more of a free rein in how he does things. It is worth pointing out there is another school of thought here, and we really don't know which one of these is going to prove to be the case, that Donald Trump said in his speech declaring victory that he would end wars. And there have been reports in authoritative newspapers here in Israel saying that Mr. Trump, when he met Benjamin Netanyahu, I believe in Mar-a-Lago in July, he had said to him he wanted to see the wars that Israel was carrying out. He wanted to see them finished by the time he took office. Now that's, I think, on January the 20th. And there is a school of thought, as I say, that it might be that the arrival of Donald Trump will actually hasten the end of this conflict. But
it certainly would seem to be the case with the with Hamas, the Hamas guy, Hamas calling for an immediate end to the war after Trump winning. Oh, the whole thing's just bizarre. I don't know. Any more on these recent protests and action going on over there? Parliament passes controversial law allowing deportation of relatives of terrorists. Huh. Family members. Okay. Weird. Interesting. Don't really see much else. Yeah. I don't know. All right, well, let's keep going. Keep moving. Where'd we leave off here? Right there, I believe. Next up, Morning Joe. This is what happens when you never leave the bubble. Oh yeah, they absolutely exist in a just like impermeable bubble. Nothing gets through to these people. Oh, we're muted. There we go.
Trump's going to win. I go, why is that? He goes, I went to the grocery store. Butter's over $3. I kind of laughed and I said, well, that's kind of reductive, isn't it? Said it to myself. To him, I smiled and I said, good point. But it actually, what everything we're hearing after the election is,
I'm just saying, the $7.
What's that?
The $7.
What's that? Butter is $7?
Yeah.
What? Is it framed in gold? Okay. Anyway,
where you go.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Well,
$7.
Anyway, Trump's going to win. I go, why is that? He goes, What?
I don't know how they do it. Late night spitting into the wind. Greg Gutfeld is your king. Kiss the ring and clean his chamber pot. Chop chop. Okay, what?
This for you though. This is a montage of late night hosts. Just because I haven't actually. I'm seeing this cold. But I've read it, but I want to see it. Let's play it here.
Hey there. How are you doing? If you watch the show regularly, I'm guessing you're not doing great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, so these are the meltdowns after Trump won. Okay.
Either.
Well, guys, last night America decided to get back with their crazy ex and elect Donald Trump as the 47th president of the United States.
It was a terrible night for everyone who voted against him, and guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him too. You just don't realize it yet.
It's not even fun. I could write better jokes.
Well, I mean, I think one of the great stories of this election, frankly, is the rise of new media and the power of new media. You had one campaign, again, this has nothing to do with like, love Donald Trump, hate Donald Trump. Objectively, they ran a campaign in which both candidates, J.D. Vance and Donald Trump, went on like 3-hour-long podcasts with people like Theo Vaughn and J.D. Vance and Tim Dillon. They embraced a new media. They embraced platforms like X, and then you had another candidate who was scripted to within an inch of her life. And only sort of in the last several weeks of the campaign, when they realized that they couldn't run on the fact that she simply wasn't the other guy, they sort of started, you know, she did call her daddy and a number of other things like that. But the look at the numbers.
Yeah,
you know, the people that you just showed, they're not speaking to like the average American voter. They're not even speaking to massive numbers of people.
I feel like they're just spitting into the wind.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's the election result too.
Yeah. That's right. Joe gave a very brief speech today.
Could make it for a first of.
As the Marine has opened
Oh my gosh.
the door for President Donald Trump.
Thank you, please. Thank you. Good to see this cabinet and staff together. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's good to see you all. Particularly good to see my granddaughter sitting in the front row here. Hi, Finn. How are you, honey? For over 200 years, America has carried on the greatest experiment in self-government in the history of the world. And that's not hyperbole, that's a fact. We're the people. The people vote and choose their own leaders, and they do it peacefully. And we're in a democracy. The will of the people always prevails. Yesterday, I spoke with President-elect Trump to congratulate him on his victory. And I assured him that I'd direct my entire administration to work with his team to ensure a peaceful and orderly transition. That's what.
Man, is it just me, or does he sound like a lot healthier? I mean, you can tell the issues are still there, but it's not nearly as like doesn't sound like he's like on his last 2% of his battery, you know? Like he actually sounds like he's got some energy. It's interesting.
The American people deserve. Yesterday, I also spoke with Vice President Harris. She's been a partner and a public servant. She ran an inspiring campaign, and everyone got to see something that I learned early on to respect so much.
She's got a backbone like a ramrod.
Her character. She has a backbone like a ramrod. Great character, true character. She gave her whole heart.
Oh my God. Wow.
And she and her entire team should be proud of the campaign they ran. You know, the struggle for the soul of America since our very founding has always been an ongoing debate and still vital today.
What does it even mean, though? Like, what?
I know for some people,
backbone like a ramrod.
It's a time for victory, to state the obvious. For others, it's a time of loss. Campaigns are contests of competing visions. The country chooses one or the other. We accept the choice the country made. I've said many times, you can't love your country only when you win. You can't love your neighbor only when you agree. Something I hope we can do, no matter who you voted for, is see each other not as adversaries, but as fellow Americans. Bring down the temperature. I also hope we can lay to rest the question about the integrity of the American electoral system. It is honest, it is fair, and it is transparent. And it can be trusted, win or lose. I also hope we can restore the respect.
I don't know about that, bro. After 2020,
for all our election workers who busted their necks and took risks at the outset.
Busted their necks, huh?
We should thank them. Thank them for staffing voting sites, counting the votes, protecting the very integrity of the election. Many of them are volunteers who do it simply out of love for their country. And as they did their duty as citizens, I will do my duty as president. I'll fulfill my oath, and I will honor the Constitution. On January 20th, we'll have a peaceful transfer of power here in America. To all our incredible staff, supporters, cabinet members, all the people who've been hanging out with me for the last 4
hanging out with me.
years, God love you, as my mother would say.
Watching Netflix, doing cocaine. Oh, there's Podesta.
Thank you.
Podesta.
So much. You put so much into the past 4 years. I know it's a difficult time. You're hurting. I hear you and I see you. But don't forget. Don't forget all that we accomplished. It's been a historic presidency. Not because I'm president, because what we've done, what you've done. A presidency for all Americans. Much of the work we've done is already being felt by the American people, but the vast majority of it will not be felt over the next 10 years. We have legislation we passed that's just only now just really kicking in. We're going to see over $1 trillion worth of infrastructure work done, changing people's lives in rural communities and communities that are in real difficulty, because it takes time to get it done. And so much more. It's going to take time, but it's there. The road ahead is clear, assuming we sustain it. There's so much we can get done. and will get done based on the way the legislation was passed.
What?
And it's truly historic.
Hey, when was it? Hey?
It's clear, assuming we sustain it. There's so much we can get done and will get done based on the way the legislation was passed. And it's truly historic.
Hey?
You know, we're leaving behind the strongest economy in the world. I know people are still hurting, but things are changing rapidly. Together, we've changed America for the better. Now we have 74 days to finish the term, our term. Let's make every day count. That's the responsibility we have to the American people. Look, folks, you all know it in your lives. Setbacks are unavoidable, but giving up is unforgivable. Setbacks are unavoidable, but giving up is unforgivable. We all get knocked down.
That on a wall, man. That's a wall quote. That's a wall quote, Joe.
But the measure of our character, as my dad would say, is how quickly we get back up. Remember, a defeat does not mean we are defeated. We lost this battle. The America of your dreams is calling for you to get back up. That's the story of America for over 240 years and counting. It's a story for all of us, not just some of us. The American experiment endures. We're going to be okay, but we need to stay engaged. We need to keep going. And above all, we need to keep the faith. So
and your demon overlord, or?
Proud to have worked with all of you. I really mean it. I sincerely mean it. God bless you all. God bless America. And may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm just waiting for the day where we're going to see all these people in that famous photo. Where, how can I find this thing? Let's see. 2017 Obama team looks on. Okay. Where is it? Where is it? The famous photo there. Is this it? There it is. That might be it. Might be the same set. I even remember this. Remember this photo from way back when. The whole crew of them looking on with like just dripping hate. Oh, what a photo that was. I have no idea how to go about tracking it down, but you all know the one. You see Valerie Jarrett right up front scowling. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have a repeat of that. That's gonna be fun. Oh, look at Skippy.
Good time. Thank you so much. You put so much in.
It's Skippy. Barron Trump, a very bright 18-year-old who played a big part in his father's stunning victory. There's Nigel Farage with him. Nice. Tall kid. Is Kamala Harris's campaign $20 million in debt? Probably. They probably put Beyonce on the credit card. Oops. The Washington bureau chief for Breitbart News wrote the $20 million debt thing is real. Deputy campaign manager Rob Flaherty, the staffer said, is currently shopping around the Kamala fundraising email list to anyone who wants it to try to raise the money back. This includes other campaigns and outside groups. Wow. Oopsie. Probably should have maybe not spent all your money on stupid effing celebrities that no one cares about. Ridiculous. Harvard professors cancel classes because the students feel sad after Trump winning. I believe this happened in 2016 too. Pretty sure it did. I don't know about at Harvard, but at other schools. Not to be outdone, the University of Minnesota is hosting post-election spaces. Today, that included a What Just Happened seminar for faculty and instructors. Don't worry, there's still time to register for the Teaching in Times of Crisis class. Here we go. Schumer urges new Senate GOP majority to embrace what? Bipartisan bills. Of course he does. No thanks. Yeah, this is a weird one. 43 rhesus monkeys escaped South Carolina research facility. Police warn residents to secure their doors and windows. Don't want to catch like turbo monkeypox or something.
Windows after in South Carolina, police today warned the community to lock their doors and windows after 40 monkeys. Yes, 40 monkeys escaped from a research facility. The primates broke loose last night from the Alpha Genesis facility in Yemassee, 60 miles away.
That sounds
from
like a Bond villain company.
Police now work to track down the fugitive monkeys using traps and thermal imaging cameras. Police tell the community to call 911 if you see one of these monkeys.
We're going to begin, though, with the start of the something that makes this country so great.
Shut up, Hag. If you see the monkey, call 911. Zero movement in the Kerry Lake race overnight. Frustrating. This was as of this morning. Just sitting at 50% for Gallego, 47.9 for Lake, 70% votes in. Wonder what it's at now. I assume we'll get there. Putin declared the death of the New World Order, apparently. Just 2 days after the election results and a day after Elon Musk's cryptic Novus Ordo Seclorum tweet. Did he oh, that's... I missed that. I missed that. That's freaking creepy, dude. Actually. Yeah. Okay. I don't like that. I mean, maybe you do. I don't. I don't. Okay. Putin says the New World Order is a thing of the past. The moment of truth is approaching, and he backs Trump's foreign policy, emphasizing a stance that avoids the use of force. The order is dead. All right, let's see.
To a certain extent, the moment of truth is coming. The previous world order is irreversibly becoming a thing of the past. One could say has become a thing of the past.
Okay, maybe Musk is putting the New World Order on notice. Okay. Maybe that's it. Well, all right.
And the shaping of the New World Order is become the scene of uncompromising fight.
Okay, hold on. I gotta hear that again.
Is irreversibly becoming a thing of the past. One could say has become a thing of the past, and the shaping of the New World Order is become the scene of uncompromising fight. Uncompromising, first and foremost, for the reason that it's not even the battle for power or geopolitical influence. It's a clash of the very principles that would be the foundation between the relation, for the relation of the countries at the next historical stage. And its outcome will define whether all of us jointly can build a world that would allow everyone to develop and to solve the outstanding contradictions based on mutual respect of cultures and civilization without coercion and use of force. To a certain extent, the moment of truth is coming. The previous world order is irreversibly becoming a thing of the past. One could say has become.
Okay, I gotta disagree with the characterization in this tweet. He is absolutely not declaring the New World Order a thing of the past. He's declaring the old world order a thing of the past and ringing in the New World Order. Sorry, that's what he's saying.
A thing of the past, and the shaping of the New World Order is become the scene of uncompromising fight.
Yep. Sorry, I don't know how you can listen to that and characterize it this way. But alright. Yeah, I don't like that, man. Nope. Arizona update. There are lawyers and trained observers monitoring tabulation of ballots, duplicating, and adjudication until we are done. I'm in constant touch with Kerry's lawyers and supporters about this, and we're watching every ballot drop, as is Arizona GOP. And Gina Swoboda, I guess? I don't know. Oop. It was around 1 p.m. Rosie O'Donnell at the end of her robe. Oh gosh, here we go.
For yourself, call your friends, check on them. And get ready, because we're in for one hell of a ride. With him at the helm. And no immunity guardrails. Okay. Okay. God bless America, people. That's all I can say. We're gonna need it. And how about we get rid of the Electoral College? Does that... anybody like that? Anyone? I'm not so sure anymore.
No.
It's a popular vote. That's what we need to do.
No.
Who gets the most votes wins.
No. Well, I mean, that worked this time for us too, so, I mean, well, but still no.
One vote, one person. No racist math in the equation.
Racist math?
Okay. That's what...
How absolutely ridiculous.
I'd like to do. Spend my life doing that, right? Find a cause you believe in and go right for it. It's interesting, you know, because I've been so sick the last, week. Maybe even more than a week, I don't know. No, because I went to Clay's Saturday class last week, and I was okay then, so I guess it hasn't been a week, but
Aww.
It feels like a week, I can tell you that much.
Whoa, okay, well, don't cough your lungs out or anything there. Just, okay, whoa.
The weird thing about the cough, this kind of cough, is it comes out of nowhere. It's not like you have a moment of, oh no, I'm gonna cough, and here it comes, you know? It's like you're talking just, you know, I don't know, it's very strange. I got cough drops. I even got my Primatene Mist inhaler from when I was a little kid. I had asthma.
Dear God. I don't know that she's gonna last another 4, man. This next 4 might see her committed into a mental institution or something. I don't know that she's gonna make it, dude.
The outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for.
Oh, is this a comparison of Kamala's concession and Hillary's concession? Interesting.
Not what we voted for.
This is not the outcome we wanted or we worked so hard for.
Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition.
Last night, I congratulated Donald Trump and offered to work with him on behalf of our country.
Over the 107 days of this campaign, we have been intentional about building community and building coalitions, bringing people together from every walk of life and background.
We've spent a year and a half bringing together millions of people from every corner of our country to say with one voice that we believe that the American dream is big enough for everyone.
To the young people who are watching, it is okay to feel sad and disappointed. But please know it's going to be okay.
To the young people in particular, I hope you will hear this.
On the campaign, I would often say, when we fight, we win. But here's the thing. Sometimes the fight takes a while. That doesn't mean we won't win. That doesn't mean we won't win.
This loss hurts, but please never stop believing that fighting for what's right is worth it.
Wow. Wouldn't be surprised if same freaking person wrote it. Honestly, jeez.
The outcome of this.
From the barracks at the Virginia Military Institute this morning when it was announced that Trump was reelected to the White House. Really?
Attention inside and outside areas. The winner of the 2024 presidential election is Donald J. Trump.
Awesome.
Let's go!
Some of those are cries of anguish, I think. Mostly cheers, I think, but there was definitely some cries of anguish in there. No! You could hear it. Oh, jeez. Okay, that's fun. That was good fun. This is last evening. Important update. IRS Hunter Biden case. IRS has agreed to temporarily pause its latest threatening action against Gary Shapley. We won't stop fighting for these brave whistleblowers who expose misconduct and politicization in the federal criminal investigation of Hunter Biden. Wow. All right, then. Oh, crap. Lost her spot. Where were we here? Here, okay. Federal Reserve lowers interest rates by 0.25 percentage point in the second cut of 2024. Judge restores controversial 9/11 terrorist plea deals following Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. Involving Khalid Sheikh Mohammed.
All right, I also want to bring in...
Mohammed would be spared the death penalty if the deal goes through. Okay, now we get to Chocolate Sunshine, Corinne. Here we go.
Look, the president has spoken to this, and I'll say it again here. He was certainly inspired by the campaign that the vice president ran.
Was that so?
When he decided to pass the torch over to the vice president, you saw the party come right behind her, support her, right after he was able to do that. And it's because she was the right person.
Right after they cooed him into submission?
You heard him say
right, would it be right then, or?
That in 2020, the reason why he selected her as her running mate, because he knew she would be able to do the job on day one. And you heard that obviously once he decided to pass the torch, which he didn't think about, like give any second thought, right? He thought about it and did it. Like, it wasn't something that he gave a second thought to, as I just said.
Wow.
It was the right thing to do. And I would
his brain still works.
Well, is that if you look at the 4 years, almost 3+ years, there are some historic accomplishments that they were able to do together, whether it's beating Big Pharma, and now Medicare is able to negotiate.
Beating them? Into the stratosphere? Doing better than ever?
Whether it's
beating them?
A bipartisan infrastructure law, whether it's the PACT Act, the Bipartisan Infrastructure, the CHIPS and Science Act, thank you so much. These are things that were able to get us out of the pandemic. And you heard me say at the top that the president is proud to leave the strongest economy for the next person.
Oh,
that's
please.
For, the president-elect. And that's what they're going to inherit.
For the love of God.
That said, and this gets to your question, despite all of the accomplishments that we were able to get done, there were global headwinds that because of the COVID-19 pandemic, obviously.
Oh, okay. Now here come the excuses. There were global headwinds.
To disruptions with the supply chain, and it had a political toll on many incumbents. If you look at what happened in 2024 globally, and that's part of what you saw, right? You saw that there was a political toll on incumbent parties around the world here. Now,
good God, ooh, what's this? America First Legal. A few hours back, our investigation has revealed that Senate staff appear to have shared sensitive FBI background investigation reports on nominees for Senate confirmation in breach of security protocols. Huh. Why, though? To what end? Based on newly obtained documents from an investigation into the DOJ, we released a report for the U.S. House of Reps and U.S. Senate concerning explosive new discoveries about the FBI's flawed and unlawful background investigation process for nominees to positions that require Senate confirmation. Today's investigative report reveals that Senate Judiciary Committee staff appear to have shared FBI background reports and personal financial information in breach of Senate security protocols. Worse, the Department of Justice appears to have shared encrypted information electronically, breaching privacy protections subject to its agreement with the White House. The improper handling of FBI investigation materials is of critical importance. BI investigation materials is important because BIs can be weaponized against future nominees of any administration. Current practice violates the Memorandum of Understanding between the White House and Senate Judiciary Committee, the MOU between White House and DOJ, as well as plain federal law prohibiting the breach of executive branch orders through the disclosure of sensitive information. Wow. I wonder exactly what they were after in doing this. Just providing dirt to be used later. It's weird. Interesting. All right. Oh, let me keep going. There we go. Governor Maura Healey on whether the Massachusetts State Police would assist in mass deportations if the Trump admin requests it. No, absolutely not. Oh boy, this is going to be an interesting year.
If the Trump administration requests it, would the Massachusetts State Police assist in mass deportations?
No, absolutely not. But, you know, let me say this. I do think it's important that we all recognize that there's going to be a lot of pressure on states and state officials. And I can assure you, we're going to work really hard to deliver. Some realities also need to be, noted. And that is, in 2016, we had a very different situation in the courts. And while I'm sure there may be litigation ahead, there's a lot of other ways that people are going to act and need to act for the sake of their states and their residents. There's regulatory authority and executive powers and the like. There's legislation also within our states. So I think that the key here is that, every tool in the toolbox has got to be used to
Does that include you?
protect our citizens, to protect our residents, and protect our states, and certainly to hold the line on democracy and the rule of law as a basic principle, right?
Every tool in the toolbox. Hi, new friend. Hi, Trent. I don't know who you are, Trent. Oh, cool. You cover fire stuff. Cool. You look like a good friend. We'll follow you. We'll follow you. Dems in disarray. CNN reports that factions of the party are at war over Joe Biden's decision not to step down earlier. Oh, I think we saw this one earlier, yeah, with this gal.
And just across the Democratic Party, Dana, there is sadness, there is despair, there is shock that not only that the vice president lost, but how decisively Donald Trump won re-election. And I will tell you, among the Biden loyalists, those who are, staunch supporters of the president, there's real sensitivity right now to the fact that the president is getting a lot of the blame from inside the Democratic Party for what happened this week.
Blame game. Yep, there they go.
Idea being that had he, said he was not going to seek another second term, had he sort of stuck to the pledge that he initially made to be a transition president and a bridge president.
Well, I mean, he accomplished that. I mean, children everywhere are transitioning every day. Hopefully not for much longer. The FBI is a crime scene. Mike Howell says. Who's Mike Howell? Heritage, Oversight, Lincoln Fellow. Okay, gotcha. FBI is a crime scene. We can't allow them to clean up the crime scene. Oversight Project says we're monitoring FBI attempts to wipe computers with evidence of their abuses under benign pretexts such as system upgrades. Okay. Huh. Obama loyalist David Plouffe appears to delete his Twitter after taking a dig at Biden. Oh! Whoa. Trouble. Let's see. Okay. Here's the alleged tweet in question. It was a privilege to spend the last 100 days with Kamala Harris and the amazing staff led by Jen O'Malley Dillon, not Dixon, Dillon, who left it all on the field for their country. We dug out of a deep hole, but not enough, a devastating loss. Thanks for being in the arena, all of you. Dug out of a deep hole. I'd say that's a dig. Apparently, not the only one to delete their account. Is it still gone? Oh, it is gone. Look at that. Stephen Richer's account gone. Maricopa County Recorder. Personal account. Stephen Richer. Disappeared. What the heck? What is going on with that? I imagine he's getting a lot of flack for how terribly things are being ran yet again. Maybe that's it. Putin says ready to talk with Trump, as we saw earlier. Fake news. CNN must answer for its defamation against Project Veritas. Veritas, okay. Not O'Keefe, but Veritas. The 11th Circuit just handed down an amazing victory in the Veritas versus CNN case in 2021. Ana Cabrera accused Project Veritas of promoting misinformation on Twitter. That was a lie. Judges, we agree with Veritas. Next up, Discovery. See you soon. Cool. Good. Good, they're still going and doing things. This is in Joliet, Illinois, outside of Chicago. Scoop. Cedrica Carver, the Dean of Students at University of St. Francis, sent a message to students recommending counseling to students who need help post-election, and is offering various spaces for reflection, including a wellness lounge, a sensory room, and a racial healing room. This is disgusting. They'll also have a painting event to help students process and reflect. An entire generation of adult babies. We're having finger painting hour for the preschoolers so they can cope with, mommy and daddy divorcing. Like, really?
Yeah, nobody should have looked at it as much.
Something about Polymarket. All right. On Polymarket, it looked like a done deal, and if you were just watching on TV, you would have thought, the election was neck and neck. Oh yeah, it was obvious. If you were watching Polymarket, took off.
Yeah, nobody should have looked at it as much as I looked at it. That's all I'll say.
Wow, young kid.
After I downloaded it.
No, you've been one of our biggest champions.
But as it would fluctuate, it would fluctuate tenths of a point, and I'd be like, oh no, what is that? Right. But I will tell you one more thing, Andrew, that happened, which it gave me just a lot of power on election night. I was watching it was either CNN or one of those channels, which I don't watch a lot, but I was watching it. And they were micro-analyzing the remaining counties left in Georgia, and Polymarket was at 89% for Trump in Georgia. And I watched it. They spent 20 minutes pretending that, and she's doing what it looks like it's possible that she's going to pick some up here. And it's like, it's over. I was screaming at the TV. It's over. It's no way in hell that it's going to happen in Georgia for her.
Yeah, on the money. Look, like, okay, there's the forecast weeks before.
I almost called it.
No, I love it. So there's the forecast weeks before, but the thing that is undeniable was the night of the election, Polymarket was the first destination to basically convey that Trump had won, and it was a good 2-3 hours ahead of media. So much so that people who were watching legacy media, hours later, we're like, oh, wow, Polymarket has Kamala so low. We were in the office and we were looking at the odds, and on Polymarket, and it looked like a done deal. And if you were just watching TV, you would think it's neck and neck.
Right.
And I think this is a complete shift of the Overton window. It is an inflection point in news and politics where Polymarket is.
Not only that, Shane, but from the J.D. Vance debate on.
Yep.
Is when it started, and you could see it. You could see it on Polymarket.
It never wobbled like shares of DJT.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. Guy walks. We saw this guy walks through New York with MAGA hat on. Gets some dirty looks. It's good fun. Arizona election attorney says Maricopa County has zero authority to retabulate the votes, and it's destroying county evidence at central count. Apparently. Excuse me. So I wonder if this has something to do with why Stephen Richard just dropped off completely. So Ryan Heath says it takes so long because Scott Jarrett needs sufficient time to unlawfully erase election day results from Maricopa County's vote centers and retabulate the same ballots at MC Tech. Maricopa County something election center, I'm not sure. They did it for more than 48,000 ballots at 44 vote centers in 2022. This isn't disputable. Here's a screenshot of Maricopa County's records for the 2022 general election. Each time it says central count. That means the results didn't come from the vote centers. This is a 10-page PDF proving everything I'm saying. Stop pretending. Interesting. I don't know who this guy, Ryan Heath. Not sure. Arizona guy. Oh, O'Keefe on Richer. Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Richer has deleted his X account following reports of slow ballot counting. This comes after O'Keefe Media Group's release of footage of Maricopa County election trainers claiming they cannot stop third-party ballot harvesting, with one stating, "It's not our job to police that." I haven't seen this, I don't think. It's yeah, okay, this is from a little while back. That's right. From a few weeks ago. Okay. Oh, the San Francisco Chronicle cover. Trumped. Wah wah. Trump says there's no price tag for his mass deportation plan. Get him out. Whatever the price tag is, it's going to be less than keeping him here.
Let's bring in moderator of Meet the Press, Kristen Welker. Kristen, we know you just spoke exclusively with the president-elect on the phone, and you asked him about his calls with President Biden, Vice President Harris. How did those conversations go? What should we know?
Well, Zinkley and Kate, first of all, former President Trump, President-elect Trump, saying he believes he has a mandate in the wake of his decisive victory. Here's what he said. He said, quote, "It's a mandate to bring common sense back to the country." As you just said, I did ask him about his phone calls with President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. He described them as very nice calls, very respectful both ways. He said that when he spoke with the vice president, she talked about a transition. She'd like to see it be smooth as can be. And I agree with that, he said, 100%. He said it was a very, very friendly call. He said his call with President Biden echoed that call with the vice president, and he said that the two are planning to have lunch in the near future. So just some notable details as he prepares for this transition. I asked him what he wants to do with that mandate. I said, look, you've been talking about immigration. You've been talking about your tariff plan. And he really highlighted the need to make the border safe and secure, indicated that would be among the first orders of business that he would tackle. And I asked him, well, what is the price tag to this mass deportation plan that you have talked about? What specifically would it look like? How would it work? And he said, there is no price tag. You have no choice. So that was another really notable part of our conversation. This was a brief conversation, lasted about 15 minutes. He notably said he's spoken to about 70 world leaders. I said 70? He said, yeah, about 70.
Wow.
Including President Zelensky. He said he hasn't yet spoken with President Putin, but anticipates that he will do so. Of course, he's talked about wanting to end that war within 24 hours. A lot of people hear that and say, well, that would mean that Zelensky, Ukraine, would have to give up some territory. He has been quite defiant, though. He believes he can get that done. So we'll continue to track that, but a really notable conversation with the new president-elect.
Well, and Kristen, you've spoken with the president-elect many times over the years, on camera, off camera. How did he sound to you today compared to previous interviews? Can you give us a vibe check?
Vibe check? Really? A vibe check?
It's a great question, Kate. He sounded quite bullish in the wake of his decisive victory. He talked about the fact that there has been what some are calling a realignment, the fact that you did see an increase in support for him amongst various groups, from Latinos to young men, low propensity voters, which we called them on election night, as well as even some women who came out in larger numbers than you would anticipate. And so it was a really notable conversation, and it's clear he believes, again, that there is a mandate. He talked about the fact that Republicans now control the Senate. He said he's very honored by that, honored by the role he believes he played in helping to make that happen. And of course, continues, like the rest of us, to watch what will happen in the House quite closely to see if, in fact, Republicans do control all two chambers of Congress as well.
I mean, they're expected to, I thought, last I checked. I don't think that's changed. No price tag. Get him out. Breaking, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell says he will refuse to step down if Trump requests it. That does not surprise me, though. He's a dirty, dirty, dirty loser, scumbag.
Hi, Victoria Guido with Politico. Some of the president-elect's advisors have suggested
Never, ever should have been installed. Never should have been put in.
You should resign.
Very dumb.
If he asked you to leave, would you go?
No.
Can you follow up on, do you think that legally that you're not required to leave?
No.
Mike?
Victoria.
Still no pardon for Hunter.
Legal actions. He's got 74 days, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I know pardons is going to be a big part of the questions that I get here over the next several weeks, and couple of months that we have. I don't have anything to share or any thought process on pardons. Once we have something to share, we certainly will share that.
Secondly, his son Hunter is also up for being sentenced next month. Does the president have any intention of pardoning him?
We've been asked that question multiple times. Our answer stands, which is no.
We'll see. This is kind of funny. Racist text messages spamming Black Americans in Ohio and across the nation.
Racist text messages are being received by Black Americans across the nation, including in Ohio. These are going kind of viral and being
I wonder who sent them.
posted on social media sites. It may be a spoofing scam that uses known area codes or known numbers to make it look like it's coming from a source you know or
The messages read something to the effect of, yeah, congratulations, you have been selected to pick cotton at the nearest plantation. Please be prepared to leave your home November 24th, 2024. You will be picked up at 8 a.m. sharp in our white van. Also, you will sit with Group C. Have a nice day. Sincerely, a Trump supporter. Gee, I wonder who sent these. Something tells me it's not a Trump supporter and is probably a Black person. Just a guess. Maybe Jussie. Is anyone checked with Jussie Smollett? Because this sounds like something he'd do. This is racism at its highest, said Columbus NAACP President Nana Watson. I believe it is a hate crime as I see it. I feel white supremacy got stronger after the election. That's my personal opinion. Clearly white supremacy, and definitely not a Black person. I mean, it's signed a Trump supporter. These people are unbelievable. Any more quotes from Nana Watson? No more quotes from Nana. Southern Poverty Law Center, which tracks hate incidents nationwide, said in a statement that the text sent to young Black people is a public spectacle of hatred and racism that makes a mockery of our civil rights history. Leaders at all levels must condemn anti-Black racism in any form whenever we see it. And we must follow our words with actions that advance racial justice and build an inclusive democracy where every person feels safe and welcome in their community. Jussie, did you do something naughty again? I think he did. All right, what do we got here?
Hurting, we see you, we hear you, we understand what you're going through, but don't have anything else to speak to.
One more question. There are reports of racist text messages targeting Black Americans being sent across the country, particularly on college campuses, Ohio State, University of Alabama, Clemson University. And these messages are claiming to be from Trump supporters, indicating that recipients have been selected to, quote, pick cotton on plantations. These messages were quickly condemned by campus and civil rights leaders, but is the White House tracking this, and what concern does the White House have about the outcome of the election leading to heightened hate speech?
Well, look, I have not spoken to the team here about that reporting. It does sound concerning, obviously. I would have to go back and get a better sense of what is indeed happening and what, the facts are. Just going to the broader question, it is important for every community to feel safe, to feel protected. That is something that this president has done and the vice president has done over the 3.5 years. We understand how vulnerable communities can feel, and it is important that we do that. And I think that's why in the next 74 days, the president wants to lead by example.
Black Americans being sent across the country, particularly on college
campuses. apparently. Yeah, something tells me this is coming from inside. I don't think a Trump supporter wrote that and signed it a Trump supporter. I mean, dear God. Insane. But okay. Bookmark this video for the future when that resist bullshit starts up. Oh, great.
This description of the former president, now president-elect, as an existential threat to democracy?
I don't have anything else to share beyond what I said. The president believes, when he said it at the time, he believes he had an obligation to be honest with the American people. I laid out what people who, former staffers of the former president said. We're talking about John Kelly, former chief of staff. We're talking about the former defense secretary. They were very clear. And we also heard words that the president-elect said, enemy within, going after people who disagree with him. And so the president is always, always going to be very honest with the American people. I don't have anything else to share beyond that. Look, we are being very clear here, right? The outcome was not what we wanted.
That's your favorite thing to do, is be clear. I know.
And the American people have made a decision, and we want to respect. We want to respect the decision that the American people have made, and we are going to make sure that the American people get what they deserve, which is a peaceful transfer of power. And we're going to continue to focus on issues that matter. We believe that matter to the American people in the next 74 days.
So it sounds like his assessment hasn't changed.
He was being honest. He has an obligation, and he was
Okay, so he still thinks that everyone's a fascist. All right.
being honest with the American people, and he will continue to do so.
A question about the peaceful transition. What is President Biden's message to career civil servants who will carry over into the next administration? Does President Biden believe that they should be fully cooperative as the next president seeks to put his agenda into action?
Fully cooperative.
Not slow things down.
Oh, no,
Republicans are
Yeah,
waste a lot of
we're
frustration.
saying that we want a good, a peaceful transition. We want an effective, efficient transition. That's what we're saying, and that's in the president's administration. Career, political. We want to make sure that that transition happens in an orderly way, and we're not looking to slow down anything. We want it.
Well, that's funny because Jen O'Malley Dillon seemed to infer just that.
To happen. That's what the American people deserve. This is not political here, folks. This is not about politics. This is about the right thing to do for the American people. They've made a decision, and we're respecting that.
Thank you.
You're gonna keep the incoming Trump administration on guardrails, right? But that's definitely, it's not slowing them down. Storms out when confronted numerous times about Biden calling Trump a fascist, but continues to promise a peaceful transition of power. Allegedly.
What we're going to do.
So you had said commutation also still off the table.
For who are you talking about?
Oh.
Hunter?
No.
Hunter?
I mean, that's not what we're going to do.
So you had said on Air Force One that the president would not consider a commutation of his sentence.
Yeah,
You're saying that still stands? Okay, great. And then I heard you earlier in the briefing talking about the pandemic's role in the outcome of this election. And it sounds like that is being looked at internally as potentially one of the causes of this outcome. But Richie Torres, the congressman, tweeted, Donald Trump has no greater friend than the far left, which has managed to alienate historic numbers of Latinos, Blacks, Asians, and Jews from the Democratic Party with absurdities like defund the police or From the River to the Sea or Latinx. Is the administration, the campaign, the Democratic Party looking at the pandemic as the cause rather than, is that easier than looking in the mirror?
So look, let's step back here. I think I've been, and the president and the vice president has been pretty clear in understanding that the American people have spoken and respecting that. I think we have tried to be incredibly respectful of what happened 2 nights ago. And we're going to continue to do that. And I'm not going to speak to every person in the Democratic Party who has an opinion or a thought. I'm just not. It is not something that I'm going to do. I talked about the political toll on incumbent parties around the world as a data point, right? As something that we have seen pretty consistently with G7 allies in this time. And obviously, one of the things that occurred was the pandemic. It did. It caused disruption. It caused the supply chain to be disrupted and and caused the economy to be turned upside down. While we put policies, and we are in fact leading the world on the economy, it doesn't stop the fact that there has been a political toll for incumbents. That is something that I'm telling you as a data point to share, because we know that you guys would have questions. That's a data point that I'm using. And I'm also saying that there's going to be election experts in the next days, weeks, months, who are going to, again, looking under the hood, kick the tires, trying to figure out exactly what happened 2 nights ago. And so they're the pundits. They're going to speak to that. They're the experts, and so we'll have more information as they look at the data. And so we'll leave that to them. And so I'm offering you our perspective, our thoughts, how we're going to move forward in the next 74 days. And I think what Americans should be assured of is that this is a president that's going to put the American people first. That's what people can be assured for.
Is examination happening at all inside, though? Because as Gabe mentioned, you know, this administration messaged to millions of Americans that they're going to wake up the day after the election if Trump won and have their rights stripped away, that democracy would crumble, and the president said today we're going to be okay. So how do you square that?
I can't square that. I'm going to square that in a way that hopefully makes sense, because I've been answering this question multiple times. The American people made the decision. There was
maybe they wouldn't ask it multiple times if you'd actually answer it. Novel thought. I know, it's like thinking outside the box here. Just
an election 2 nights ago. There was. And it was a free and fair election. And we respect the election process. We do. And Americans spoke. And so the job of the president is to make sure we respect that. The job of the president is to make sure that we have a peaceful transfer of power. That is what the American people deserve. And that's what we're gonna, it's not complicated. It's truly as simple as that. As simple as that. The president called the president-elect, invited him to the White House. You know why? Because that's customary. That is customary. That is what you do. If you respect what the American people decided, that's what you do. And that's what the president's going to make sure that the Trump transition has what it needs, which is being led obviously by our chief of staff here. Why? Because the president wants to lead by example. It's not complicated. It really isn't. And you know, that's important.
Example is the message to people who are fearful based on what the messaging was about the state.
You told these people that he was Turbo Hitler.
Twisting everything around, and that's really unfair.
Turbo Hitler.
No, it is. No, Jackie, it's unfair, because I've been standing here trying to be very respectful to what happened the last 2 nights ago. Being respectful. I've been standing here saying that we respect the decision that the American people made. I've been standing here.
No, it's implicit that you don't, because you called them all fascists.
And saying that
you idiot.
The president's going to put the American people first. I've been standing here talking about how the president's going to make sure that they get what they deserve, which is a peaceful transfer of power. I do not appreciate having my words twisted. That is, I have been very clear, very clear about what the president wants to do, and the vice president.
Don't you twist my words.
Make sure that we deliver for the American people. They deserve a peaceful transfer of power, and that's what you're going to see. Thanks, everybody.
Okay. Hate to tell. Oh man, John Thune, yeah, making his veiled threat against Trump. Said, I think it's probably in Trump's best interest to stay out of the decision for Senate Majority Leader. In his best interests. What does that mean?
I don't know that he does. I'm staying in regular contact with him and with his team. And, you know, obviously, if he wants to, he could exert a considerable amount of influence on that. But honestly, I think my preference would be, and I think it's probably in his best interest, to stay out of that. These Senate secret ballot elections are probably best left.
Or he could not do that, and he could pick someone worth a crap. Something you seem entirely incapable of doing. Like, what on earth would possess you to think that he should stay out of that, Mr. Thune? Or that anyone would accept that? No, I want him picking. He's got a mandate, dang it. I want him picking the best person for that job. I want him right in the middle of that. Not the same old people. Demand open ballot vote for Senate leader. What is this? Call to action for MAGA. I don't know. Not sure. Oh, yeah. People thinking Rick Scott, huh? For Senate Majority Leader. Rick Scott. Would be a decent choice. Thune just implicitly threatened Trump on national TV, told him not to endorse Rick Scott. Yeah, buzz off. Buzz off, John. Even Trump Jr. knows how awful John Thune is, and John Cornyn. Here are some screenshots of the things that Jr. has said about Thune and Cornyn. Nice. Oh yeah. They want to replace Mitch, the turtle. Just like him. Just like him, too. Except for the fact that they are capable of, I don't know, surviving maybe another decade or two, unlike him. Not falling apart at the seams, unlike Mitch. Yeah, not a good thing. Chaos ensued at Spirit Airlines counter inside LaGuardia Airport in New York after a raccoon came crashing through a ceiling panel. He was heard to have said, "I am here to avenge the death of the martyr known as Peanut. Allahu Snackbar." Dare to avenge Peanut. Gotta do it.
That's why all these vlogs are breaking.
Also gotta find those airport snack bars. They're great snack bars. I don't know whose snack bars they are, but they now belong to our little masked friend here. AP projects Dave McCormick wins the U.S. Senate race in Pennsylvania. Nice. Defeating Bob Casey. Republican flips. Yeah, West Virginia, Montana, Ohio, and Pennsylvania now. Huh. Yeah, this is interesting. Federal agents raid Alfie Oaks North Naples home. Immokalee packing plant? I don't know. Oaks is a conservative political influencer and the owner of Oaks Farm and Seed to Table supermarket. Wonder what happened here.
You are watching the moment that Collier County businessman and conservative political activist Alfie Oaks arrived at his North Naples home today as federal agents were executing a search warrant inside. Agents who investigate financial crimes were also at his packing plant at his farm in Immokalee.
Financial
Oaks
stuff.
is a political influencer. He employs thousands of people in Collier County.
We've got our NBC2 crews spread out across Collier County at his packing plant in Immokalee, his business Seed to Table Market. But NBC2's Alexa Velez is outside of Oaks' home in a gated North Naples community, and she's been there for hours after we got a tip about the raid. Alexa, you've seen troopers, agents with the Department of Defense and the IRS there, along with several other unmarked vehicles.
That's right, Kelly. And right now we are still outside of Oaks' home here in the Villages of Monterey community in North Naples. And as you can see, all of law enforcement is gone. But Oaks left moments ago, and this was his only comment.
Go Trump. Fight, fight, fight.
Okay. Interesting. I wonder what happened here.
We know a computer.
Oh.
This morning and afternoon. We know the IRS was here. They were going in and out of his home throughout the garage, carrying boxes, and we actually saw a man wearing an IRS shirt carry out a computer. I talked to one neighbor who knows Oaks and knows what happened. So
right around the corner over here, we just heard, "Open the door," and that's all I really heard. Yeah. I don't think they kicked the door in. I think his wife, I heard, let him in.
Yeah, they had the.
Yeah, they had the thing out. They were fixing to bust the door in, and they didn't end up doing it. I can see that his door is not damaged.
Jeez. Frickin' IRS. I guess they're getting their kicks in while they still can. Disgusting. Well, at least maybe, without knowing the full facts of the case. Who knows? Maybe the guy committed some financial crimes. It's possible. President-elect's lawyer, Mike Davis, told New York AG Letitia James they will put her fat ass in prison if she continues to try to send President-elect Donald Trump to jail.
Say that.
Is that a direct quote?
Let me just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General. Big Tish? I dare you. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump in his second term, because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time, and we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights. And I promise you that. So think long and hard before you want to violate President Trump's constitutional rights or any other American's constitutional rights. It's not going to happen again.
We've been warning people on the show, Mike. This isn't the same Trump administration. Stop messing around. Don't rig.
Dark MAGA has arrived.
Elections. Don't illegally vote. Don't try the funny business, because we know the team this time and they are not effing around.
Let me.
That's freaking great. Put your fat ass in prison. Biatch. Yeah, I'll take it. Mike Davis. See on X here? You, sir, get a follow. Bing. Press Secretary Corinne storms out of the briefing after the hammer Jackie Heinrich asks, "What's your message now after you made people so fearful?" That was fantastic. It's a great moment. Students at Michigan State University are staging a walkout during classes to protest Trump's win. Why? What is even the point of that? Why are you protesting your university for Trump winning? What do they have to do with it? Nothing. They claim Trump is a serious threat to their safety and futures, and he risks the health of our planet. This woman, meanwhile, is shaving her head to protest the patriarchy and stand with every woman and minority. Oh my God, they're playing that song. Wow.
Machine.
24/7 baby machine. You hear that? Hear that shit? Pardon me. Man bad. No have baby. Kill baby. Independent woman. It is a absolutely disgusting song if you've never heard it. The gist of it is men make us do work, and you know, turn us into baby machines so that they can sit there and drink beer all day and watch football and do nothing. I don't know where this exists anywhere in this world today, but like an entire generation of young women are like obsessed with this song. Hear it? 24/7 baby machine so he can live out his picket fence dreams, because we all know women don't have dreams of having families or children ever. Why would they? They can be an independent woman and a boss bitch and shave their head to protest the patriarchy. Yeah. I don't recall the name of the song. It's disgusting, though. Leftists shaving their head. They're starting a trend. Oh, this one saw fit to forgo the song. Some other degenerate bullcrap. No idea. Oh, you look disgusting. Why would you do this? Why? Oh. Oh, jeez. It has now completed its transformation to butch lesbian. Yet another perfectly lovely looking woman shaving her head. This had to be like a 4chan meme op or something, just to see if they could get dumb idiot like tard women to shave their head to fight the patriarchy.
See, you guys feel spicy? Because I do. All right. I don't know how to use this thing. Let's see what happens. Is this cutting off hair? I'm going to have to cut it shorter than that. Buzz it down, right? I think that this is too... It's getting hair. Let's see here.
This is easy to see the crazies now.
Maybe I gotta cut it.
Look for the shaved head.
Here we go. Have I given up on America? I've also given up on coloring this hair because, right? Fuck coloring my hair. Fuck having my hair be long and luxurious. Fuck all that shit. Fuck being skinny. Fuck being hot. Fuck being...
Wow, she's gonna get fat to fight the patriarchy. You hear that? She's gonna become a fat loser to fight the patriarchy.
all the things that the patriarchy
Fat, smelly loser.
wants us to be.
With a bald head.
Clearly, they don't give a shit about us. And I'm talking to you, too. Those of you ladies who have the internalized misogyny required to do what you did. Minorities who are so scared of a woman in power that you'd rather cozy up to the white man just in case some crumbs fall off his plate so that you may eat from them. Yes, scraps. I don't know how to work this thing, but I'm on my way.
This one listens to that song all day on repeat.
I'm gonna figure it out. Let's just do some
You can tell.
cutting.
Almost pulls lines directly from the song.
You know why? Because this is taking too long. Here we go. Short hair we go. Here we go. Here we go.
God, this is disturbing.
Oh, here we go. We're cutting it off because fuck you. That's why. You think I'm crazy? Me too. Crazy.
Yeah.
Just like all the women before me who were crazy. So fucking crazy. You know what?
Yeah, this is what happens when men let their women get out of line. What? Oh, this might be a bit too spicy for YouTube.
It's been a year. It's been 9 years, 8 years, whatever it may be. Around this time, 8 years ago, it's one of the worst times of my life. It's when my life fell apart. Not because of this. Don't get too excited. I'm just talking about
At least she's a boss bitch.
regular life stuff I talk about on here. But trust me, I understand.
Getting fat to fight the patriarchy. That's right. Woo! Pack on those pounds, girl. A new batch of votes released from Arizona. Kari Lake surging yet again. Good. Lake, let's see. Now at 48% even. Gallego at 50%. Only 50,802 votes behind. These guys have a couple hours ago. Oh, and there's the photo. Thank you. You found it. There's the photo. There it is. Look at them. Look at them. Can't wait to see this again. Round 2, baby. Fight! All right. That's it for me. Complete. At least I think so. I don't know if... oh, whoa. That's funky. Yes, my relief is in. Sunny's here. How you doing, Sunny? What's up?
And unmute.
There she is.
Well, I think you covered it all. I think we can take the next 2 hours off.
Cool. I try. Yeah.
I know. I'm like, I was looking for stuff, and I look over at PSB, and it's like he's covered it.
Well, hey, you can always cover it again because people come in, they get off of work on the West Coast, and they miss me. Yeah, you can always cover it all again.
Same big shoes.
I know. Well, you got your own. You got your own way of doing things. It's how it works here.
All right.
Cool.
Funny.
Well, I'll leave it in your hands then. You have a wonderful show, and I will see you all tomorrow.
You have a good evening.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.